Next, we are going to look at a Pestel analysis that incorporates directions of change. Now, this Pestel analysis was done based on details from Kenya in 2020 for a coffee shop. So first we'll look at the political aspect of the Pestel analysis, and here we see that the mega trend is that there is a possibility of political unrest as the 2022 general elections draw near. It is likely that this will affect businesses negatively. The inflection point in this case is that the election of a new president is likely to affect business operations. The weak signal is that the increase in political rallies and meetings may provide more opportunities for the business to cater for events. And the second is that improvement of Kenya's corruption perception index may affect businesses positively. Next, we'll go to economic. Now, in the economic aspect of the Pestel analysis, we see that a mega trend here is that Kenya's economy is in recovery mode at 4.5%, and this is expected to increase to over 5%. The inflection point is that Kenya's 2020 unemployment rate was 2.9%, which is high, and this can affect business sharply one way or another. The weak signal we see here is that there is a high cost of living due to the increased fuel prices and taxes. The second one is that the central bank has maintained the 7% interest rate due to the observed economic recovery. And the third one is that July 2021, the 12-month inflation rate was 6.44%, which is relatively high, and this can potentially affect businesses. Next, we'll go to the social aspect, and here the first mega trend is that there is a rise in coffee drinking culture among Kenyans. The second one is that there is an increased adoption of food delivery to homes and offices. The third is that the health consciousness of guests has increased following the COVID-19 pandemic. The inflection point under the social aspect of the Pestel analysis is that loss of jobs due to COVID-19 has led to a reduced disposable income, and this is likely to affect the business. A weak signal we have here is that increase in crime, terrorism, health issues, and kidnapping incidences is likely to increase the cost of doing business. Next, we'll go to the technological aspect of the Pestel analysis. And the megatrends that we can identify here is that Safaricom's launch of the 5G network is expected to raise internet speeds, and this will affect them in coming years. The second one is that the creation of innovative apps to facilitate ordering and delivery services. The third one is that there is a rise in use of social media, digital device ownership, with mobile phones usage being at 99.9% and mobile connections across the country being at 108.9%. The inflection point here is that cashless transactions are now preferred over the use of hard currency. The second one is that the business registration has been made faster. The third one is that there is now an ease of obtaining business credit facilities. And the fourth one is that there is an ease of filing business tax returns. The weak signal we see here is that there is an introduction of virtual tourism to combat the losses to the tourism industry. So next we will go to the environmental aspect of the Pestel analysis. And here a megatrend we see is that Kenya has committed to be more sustainable and to reduce greenhouse emissions by 32% by 2030. An inflection point we have here is that there have been floods and landslides that have led to the loss of life and sources of income. A weak signal we have here is that the 2019-2020 locust invasion is likely to affect food security. Next, we'll go to the legal aspect of the Pestel analysis, and here we see that a megatrend is the introduction of a compliance certificate, which will be needed in carrying out business going forward. The second one is social distance requirement may affect the amount of expected revenue, since the coffee shop is likely to have less customers than had been early anticipated. An inflection point we have here is that the health and safety laws are likely to increase the business costs. A weak signal we have here is that there is potential increase in the cost of insurance due to politicking. And the second one is that curfews and limited business hours may result in limited number of sales for the coffee shop. This is the end of this example of a Pestel analysis. You can try and attempt to do a Pestel analysis of an organization that you are familiar with.